So one of the other points, Richard, is unrealistic expectations. This is one that I've been toying with myself because I know that you're in a business where the expectations for you was extremely high and for other people, and it seemed to kind of bring out the best in you. And I could see that in me at certain times. You know, if someone's got very high standards, you tend to rise to them. But I'm just wondering if there's a flip side of that where you could potentially sort of burn people out, unwittingly, and have you sort of had any lessons in terms of how to get that balance in setting those unrealistic expectations?
Well, it's definitely true. I mean, one of the things that really shocked me was when one of my consultants, when we were running LEK, my consultancy firm, came to me and said that you're destroying people's lives, Richard. Do you realise that? I said, what? And it was this thing that you're talking about, Matthew, sort of burning people out. And the truth is that some people can take it and others can't. And I do think that if you want to have unreasonable success, in other words, if you want to be someone who achieves something that other people haven't been able to do, in whatever field it is, whether it's business or sport or any endeavor, or if it's trying to work out how people should live their lives, you've got to be unreasonably demanding. And some people can take that and thrive on it and enjoy it, and other people can't. And so I have a slightly harsh Darwinian sort of view about achievement. Achievement is not necessarily the most important thing in life at all. Unless you've got this sort of, somewhat neurotic desire to achieve things, which I'm all in favor of. I think ambition is one of the great things to have. But unless you've got unreasonable expectations, you're not going to be unreasonably successful. And, I think part of the issue in life is whether you want to be in that kind of race. Most people don't, and most people probably shouldn't. But if you've got that desire, you've got to satisfy it, because you won't be happy otherwise, and you won't find joy except through work. I mean, I think that the people I know who are really, really happy are almost always people who enjoy their work, whatever it is, their vocation. It doesn't necessarily have to be paid work at all. It could be bringing up children. It could be, running a home for damaged people of one sort or another. It could be writing poetry. It could be anything. But if you haven't got that desire, you can't simulate it. You can't say, well, I've read this book called Unreasonable Success and How to Achieve It, and so I ought to try and be unreasonably successful. No, only if you really, 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 really want to do it should you do it.
You have to develop a culture of people, though. Like if you're starting a company or you're leading like you was, are you having to sort of almost like hire for that, to say, look, you're entering a company that wants to be unreasonably successful.
Yeah.
Come on the bus if you want to be part of that. If not, it's probably not going to work for you. Is that part of the recruitment?
That's exactly right. Yeah, and I wish I'd said that to people at the beginning. I mean, this guy who actually felt burnt out and the rest. He was one of 30 people that I hired after the company had been going for 2 years, and we went to Oxford and Cambridge University, and we wanted to hire people who were cheap, therefore young and inexperienced, but who had got very high energy, and that's the way that I put it. And one of the things that I did require was that they demonstrated one way or another that they were very high energy. So sport was very, very important, but it wasn't the only way. They could be, unbelievably dedicated to music, or they could be, great debaters, or they could be anything. But nevertheless, people who were high energy, who were, the people who absolutely wanted to do things and wanted to, the difference between an extrovert and an introvert is very interesting, because an introvert is someone who actually can perform. They can give presentations, they can, do podcasts if you like, but it's hard. It takes energy out of them. And there are other people who feel at the end of an interview or a podcast or whatever it is that they're doing, they feel energized. They actually feel not drained, but they feel, as though it was negative energy required to do something like that, because that's what they like doing. And so, if you want to be unreasonably successful, it's probably better to be not necessarily an extrovert, but in the field that you've chosen, it's got to be easy in a way. When it's very hard, it's easy because it's a challenge and you like it, and you're always thinking about how you could do something that no one else had done, and it's sort of it's an ego trip perhaps, but it's not effortful. If it's effortful, you shouldn't be doing it. Is my view.
That's a good
Because
indicator.
there are lots of things you can do. Lots of things you can do in life which are not effortful and enjoyable, and which don't cause you angst and worry and things like that. But if what you're doing does cause you angst and worry, you're absolutely doing the wrong thing. You should be doing something that you are ideally suited to do and that you're so much better at than anybody else, that it's not difficult and the competition is irrelevant. Now, finding that may take a lifetime, but unless you actually really want to do it, you shouldn't do it. And you'll know, because if you're trying to push water uphill, then you'll fail, like I was at Boston Consulting Group, and that analysis was not what I was supposed to be doing.
So how do you balance that with...
And the sooner you find out what it is that you don't want to do or can't do, the sooner you'll find what it is that you do want to do.
So how do you balance that then with when you're budgeting, you're setting unrealistic expectations for budgeting? Because I was reading where you said that, I can't remember the exact details, but you were going to grow by 100% for a period of time. It was unreasonable growth that you had set out to do, which most people would have thought, well, if you sat down with my finance director, it's like, look, it's great that you're setting that, but I want a budget that you're going to be able to hit. So how do you balance the sort of unrealistic expectations in terms of, right, our company's going to grow 100% for the next so many years, but also trying to do something that is at the same time realistic? Or do you just say, look, we're going to do it and we're going to figure out what realistic is? How do you balance those two elements?
Yeah, budgeting's a problem. We never budgeted in LEK. We never had a budget. And I remember saying to my partners, BCG we knew grew at about 20% a year. Bain & Company quite outrageously said they'd grow at 40% a year. And this was in revenues, in headcount, and in profits. And I said, well, why don't we go for 100%? And everyone said to me, yeah, why don't we go 100%? Well, I said, the way to do that is to hire people, because if you've got the cost, you've got to get the revenue. That was the very primitive view we had. We never had a budget, never ever had a budget. But we said, yeah, it'd be kind of good to do that. Well, how do you know whether you're going to double in size or double in revenue? It's quite easy, actually. If your revenue was X, next year you had to do 2X. And then you try and work out how you could possibly do that. And again, Bill Bain had this great saying that your best new customer is your existing customer. So he would look at how to increase the budget within the budget, again, but the consulting revenue really within a particular client. And the way to do that was to do incredibly valuable work. So if you did incredibly valuable work, they want more of it, was sort of the very simplistic view. And so, therefore, that's what you do. The problem comes, Matthew, when you have external shareholders. And then you get into the bind that every chief executive, every CFO, every managing director, every finance director, gets to, which is they play a game. They play a game, and it's a horrid game for everyone, which is that they know that they think that they might be able to do 100, and then they put 80 in the budget. And the reason that they do that is that it's much better to to basically outperform expectations than it is to underperform expectations. So the setting expectations is the key thing. But if you set expectations below what you think that you can do, you're more likely not to do it. And if you say, again, it comes back to unreasonable expectation. If you say, well, actually, we're going to do the impossible, well, you might get quite close to it. But if you say, we're actually going to do reasonably well, you're limiting yourself. You're putting a ceiling on what it is that you can do. And there's nothing more stupid in the world than that. Because actually, in your heart of hearts, you really feel that you could do better. But unfortunately, you get into this game where saying, well, we have these horrible people called shareholders, and we better tell them that we're not going to do as well as we hope to do. And then you don't do as well. You see what I mean? It's a vicious circle. Yeah. Whereas if you're actually only reporting to yourself, and this is why, it was so liberating for me to be part of a partnership, because the only people I had to satisfy were my partners and myself. And, the partners were a bit of a problem. I probably preferred not to have any partners from that point of view, but I couldn't do the things that they could do. So that was fine. It's very important not to play that game. And I don't know quite how you manage that if you have external shareholders. I actually think it's far better if you can possibly. I'm arguing against myself because my life now is mainly I write books, but I'm also an investor. So I invest in these venture capital companies, and I try and have a relationship with the chief executive so they'll tell me what they're really thinking rather than what they think I might know, would put up with and view as being satisfactory. I'm trying to get them to think about their dreams and how they can conquer the world. I don't want to know what the next budget's going to be at all. And that's what you've got to do. You've got to make people as ambitious as they can possibly be themselves, or more so. And budgeting, I think maybe budgeting is a big mistake. Maybe we shouldn't have budgets at all.